Alright guys, so this is going to be a little bit of a different type of video. I just wanted to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, who is an extremely impressive young politician who is now apparently running for president. And I just learned of this dude 3 weeks ago, but my God, when you listen to this guy talk, I mean, it is impressive. He's one of those people that if you told me based on tests, he's like a genius, he's like a certified genius, I would believe you. I mean, you compare him to like Trump, DeSantis, anyone in the Republican Party, it's so crazy. Now, him running for president, I think he's 37 right now. I mean, it's just ridiculously young. He's got zero chance to win, and I'm guessing he knows that. He's smart enough to know it. Right now, anyways, it just seems if you're a Republican, you're going to have to deal with the whole Trump thing, at least this last time. This is like Trump's last hurrah. And when it comes to the Republican primaries, I mean, Trump is already guaranteed, I would say, a minimum of 30% of the vote, meaning there's 30% of Republicans that no matter what happens will not vote for anyone but Trump. So I think this dude probably knows at age 37 he has zero chance. Preferably me. I would want my president in a perfect world to go into the White House at age 44. So he would go from 44 to 52. I think that's your absolute prime when you're a politician. So I'm guessing he just wants to get his foot in the door. He's throwing so much money at this. This dude is worth $500 million. Apparently he founded a company and then sold it. But, I mean, when you listen to this guy talk about China and how we need to be independent from them and shutting down the Department of Education, and yesterday Trump comes out and totally copies him and says the exact same thing. I just want to see this dude on a debate stage. I mean, he is, like, you listen to him talk and it is impressive. I know he's really young, but maybe he can buy his way onto a debate stage like Bloomberg did back during the Democratic primaries. I mean, how much of a sham were the Democratic primaries with all of them dropping out, endorsing Biden? It's so ridiculous. I don't know if anyone has seen the January 6th stuff come out. You know what we need? We need a January 6th committee to investigate the January 6th committee. All those people, all those Democrats, the kangaroo monkey court, they put it on prime time so more people could see it. All those people that were involved in that committee should be in jail. They completely manipulated all the security footage, and they actually said, oh, the rioters killed a dude. Turned out to be completely false when they looked over it. It is out of control. But guys, getting back to Vivek, I don't know, man. I know a lot of people like Trump. It's Trump or DeSantis. I get it, but you listen to this guy talk, it's real impressive. I want to see him debate. I want to see him on the debate stage against Trump and DeSantis. I also want to see Rand Paul. I'm a big fan of Rand Paul. But yeah, I mean, when you talk about, it's going to sting, but you have to be independent from China. Everything, all of our infrastructure needs to be made in America. You cannot let China have any leverage over you. You want to talk about it, someone that's screwed. The NBA, my God. I saw a statistic, and the NBA is trying to keep this quiet, but I saw a statistic where the NBA has more fans in China than in the United States. So it's like, oh my, China has so much leverage over the NBA, no matter what China does. Like, they can do whatever they want because the NBA can't piss them off. We already saw what happened with the tweet from the Rockets owner. It is so bad. So I agree with Vivek on that's a huge emphasis. Let's end this ridiculous sham of a war. I said Ukraine was a shithole last year and everyone yelled at me. Now it's like most Americans, actually over 50%, are like, yeah, we're done with the war. We're done with throwing all this money to Ukraine. We've weakened Russia enough at this point to where we have leverage in a potential negotiation with Russia. Will give Russia the two areas that were already mainly Russian speaking. They wanted to leave it anyways. Of course, the Western media is going to propagandize it and say, no, it's all Ukraine. Even the left admitted Ukraine was a shithole back in 2020, but now we've got to go to World War III over Ukraine. If you are pro-war in 2023, you're ignorant to just how bad war is. And if you seriously are pro-war and you think, because this is the one thing I see with all these like Democratic nerds and stuff, and I mean, I'm not like left or the right, but it's mainly the Democrats that love this war. They're like, oh my God, we can weaken Russia while not sending over any American troops. Oh, that's all well and good until Russia decides to escalate things. This idea that we should be pro-war and put on our little nerd glasses and be like, oh my God, we're weakening Russia without sending over any of our troops. It's so good. Really? You really want to take that risk? Is it really worth it over Ukraine? Seriously? You need a dose of reality is what you need. Right now, we have negotiation power over Russia. And then they say, and it is true, because the United States spends so much on the military, the amount we're sending over to Ukraine, it is actually kind of a drop in the bucket. Yes, it is. But if I was Vivek, or if I was Trump, or anyone on the Republican side, I would say we're ending this war, and then we're taking all that money that we were spending on Ukraine, and we are making sure we get all of our major businesses out of China, so they don't have any leverage over us. We saw it during the pandemic. Everything's made in China. China shuts down. We're screwed. Okay, so maybe we should guard against that happening again. I think that's smart, and that's a rhetoric you're really not hearing from anyone at all. So I guess Trump talked about it a little bit, the Republicans do, but still, I think that's a major emphasis we should have, and that is one of the things that Ramaswamy is saying, and I did check the polls, and he's not even showing up on there. I wouldn't think he would, and I think he knows that. I don't know what's going to happen with Trump and DeSantis. I think either way it's going to be bad. The problem is, if Trump gets the nomination, there's already so many independents who will not vote for Trump no matter what. He's extremely polarizing. And then the other issue is, let's say DeSantis beats Trump. Will Trump run as an independent if he loses to DeSantis? I think it's like a 50-50 right now that he would. Trump is really old. This is really his last hurrah. So no matter what happens with Trump, he's a loose cannon when it comes to, if he loses, he might run as an independent, which would completely nuke the Republicans. He would steal votes away from DeSantis. There's a faction of Republicans who would vote in a general election for an independent if it was Trump over a Republican. Let's just say it's DeSantis. The problem for DeSantis is it's really unappealing that all of the establishment supports him. That is a big issue, because it just goes to show you the corruption. If you guys remember back in 2015, I was probably like one of the first people, I mean, I was young, but I was like one of the first people to support Trump when the entire establishment was up Jeb Bush's ass. And I mean, we realized very quickly Jeb just couldn't be a politician. It happens with people, whatever. But Trump takes it. And I totally understand the appeal of Trump, because everything is so corrupt in politics, especially career politicians, things like that. Trump is not that. I get it. But he is very polarizing. And it's going to be interesting, because they're going to have to ask all these Republican candidates, what do you think about the whole voter fraud situation and stuff? And I thought Vivek Ramaswamy I thought Vivek Ramaswamy had a great answer to it. He said, listen, when it comes to the whole voter fraud stuff, what I'll say is there was definitely manipulation. We saw it with the Hunter Biden story. We saw it with censorship through platforms. So yes, there was manipulation in terms of it. And 100% he's right. They completely censored the story. And guys, I was one of the first, really, people still don't realize the words disinformation and misinformation are gateway words to censor freedom of speech in this country. It's part of the reason why Elon Musk bought Twitter. And by the way, thank God Elon Musk is a Republican, my God. But Elon Musk kind of saved Twitter at least a little bit to where they were so out of control, they were censoring everything. They used the words misinformation, disinformation as excuses to ban the Hunter Biden laptop story. Remember, when they use the word misinformation, it's not because it's actual misinformation, it's because they want something silenced. So they didn't know the Hunter Biden thing was actual misinformation, but they knew they wanted the October surprise silenced. And then it's so funny how they call Trump Hitler, but they completely had zero October surprise on Trump in 2020. There was no October surprise on Trump, but Trump's Hitler. And now for the Democrats, it gets even worse because now we're seeing stories where they're like, oh my God, DeSantis is worse than Trump. How can he be worse than Trump? You've already called Trump Hitler. So these people are just spinning in circles right now, trying to, go after, Trump, DeSantis, whoever it is. I wonder, imagine if Mike Pence got the nomination. There's no chance. Mike Pence is John McCain 2.0. He's not getting the nomination, but I wonder how they would try. Oh, you know what they would call Mike Pence? They would probably call him the devil because of the whole gay marriage stuff. Yes, that's what they would do for sure. But also, Nikki Haley, zero chance. It's just a waste of money. Nothing against her, but people donating to her, it's a complete waste of money. It's not happening. I mean, it's probably Trump or DeSantis. I really can't see anyone else. But I think, this Vivek Ramaswamy really needs to buy his way onto the debate stage because he is extremely smart. You got to just listen to him talk. He would talk circles around Trump or DeSantis. I mean, this guy's IQ's got to be 170. It's crazy. Apparently, he sold the company. He's worth $500 million. It doesn't surprise me at all. The second you hear him talk and the arguments that he makes, it is really next level. And then I don't want to get demonetized, but ladies and gentlemen, Hershey's came out with a National Women's Day empowerment campaign. And the chocolate bar is called Hershey. And it was being promoted, correct me if I'm wrong, it was being promoted by a biological male. What is going on? You're trying to celebrate women and you're promoting the chocolate bar in honor to celebrate women with a biological male. Am I what? How do you not look into that and be like, maybe we should just use a biological female to do this just because it's Women's Day? I can't say much on this. They'll demonetize me. I can't say much on it. It sucks. But you would think YouTube would learn from Elon Musk freeing Twitter. Hey, maybe you should stop demonetizing people. And then how great is it that YouTube's going to get sued, guys. I probably shouldn't say this because this is their platform and I make money doing this. But yeah, YouTube took a lot of content and demonetized a lot of content and took a lot of content off the air that has proven to be true. Because YouTube didn't like what was being said because it was against their political beliefs. It's pathetic. You should be neutral. If you're a major social media company, you need to be neutral when it comes to politics. You can't have 99% of your employees donating to liberal causes like Twitter when they investigated it back in 2020 and 99% were donating to liberal causes. Gee, I wonder who's going to get banned more, conservatives or... And did you see what that dumbass Jimmy Kimmel did? Or was it Jimmy Fallon? No, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel came out with a story and said, Trump tried to censor me. Oh, Jimmy, you really want to argue who was more censored on social media, conservatives or Democrats? Really? Oh my, these people are just so out of it. They're so out of it. The whole thing is corrupt. Once you see it, especially with any type of news organization, follow the money. That's all I'm going to say. When it comes to what happened with 2020, I can't even say the words. I think they'll still demonetize it. But when it comes to the VAX, we know CNN had a big financial incentive to push that, right? Because they had a sponsorship And then they go after Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan, who has like 30 times the followers and the listeners, Joe Rogan comes out and says, listen, there's alternatives to it. You can do this. Pfizer throws a hissy fit, tells CNN, you need to do something. So they come up with an N-word compilation against Joe Rogan, try and get him canceled, and then call ivermectin horse dewormer. And then you got all the liberal people buying into it and stuff. And it's all based on money. It's because Joe Rogan offers an alternative medicine that then people are going to use that. They're not going to get the shot. That's going to hurt Pfizer's bottom line. So Pfizer tells CNN, we're paying you money. You need to go discredit this guy. This is all such a joke, folks. It's all so corrupt. I don't know why a single person. This is my new slogan. If you get canceled by the mainstream media, I like you 10 times more. That's my new... If the mainstream media doesn't like you, I like you even more. Whether you're on the right or left, I don't care. I like you even more. Because that's how much I am against the mainstream. Because it is all so corrupt. It's all based on money. That's all they care about. That's it. Follow the money. It's all motivated by it. It's all corrupt. But guys, like I was saying... We'll have to see with this Republican stuff. This Vivek seems extremely smart. He's way too young. I think he just wants to get his foot in the door here. And he is kind of going with he's like, oh, Donald Trump inspired me. I don't think that's really, he's smarter than that. He shouldn't be saying that, personally. I know he's trying to play to the Trump base and things like that. But, you know, for really any Republican candidate, even DeSantis, it's going to be very hard to win a primary because Trump is guaranteed, a minimum of probably 30% of the support. I mean, you could definitely win some of the states. You know, some of the states are more open than others. I'm sure DeSantis with Florida and stuff, but it's going to be very hard. And this is really the last year, whether Trump wins or not. Trump is so old. This is the last year that these Republicans are going to have to deal with the Trump issue and answering all these questions. So we'll have to see what happens, guys, but just wanted to do a little video on that. But that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.